Trump is guilty of running for president, and that's it. What's up, Piper friends? Welcome to Tim's School of Pipes, and class is in session. I've been away for about a week. I was out of town on business. This weekend I've got Blade Show, so I haven't been able to put out much content, but I'm trying to get back to it. I've got another busy week this week, but hopefully I'll be back at it soon. I'm smoking some Hearth and Home Black House today out of my Savinelli Oceano 626 Bent Apple. I've got my regular old pipe Zippo here. This is a Russ Roulette blend. It's an Oriental Forward English. You guys know that I'm a huge English fan and Balkan Oriental fan, so excellent blend right here. This is the new one. I've also got some 10th anniversary that I got from Raphael over at Flat Cap Piper. Haven't tried that one yet, but I'm looking forward to comparing them. This is one of my favorite blends. Really good. If you love an English, love a Balkan, I highly recommend it. Today I want to talk about this absolute freaking sham of a trial. So let me break it down for you in case you didn't know about this trial where Trump was just found guilty of 34 felony counts. In 2006, he sleeps with a porn star. In 2016, he runs for president. He pays the porn star $130,000 to keep her mouth shut about his affair. First of all, affairs are immoral. They're not illegal. See Bill Clinton. Secondly, hush money is also not illegal. It is a settlement. It is a contract. It is not illegal to pay someone to not talk, especially if a crime was not committed. No crime was committed. They were two consenting adults. He paid her $130,000 not to say anything. See Bill Clinton. He paid Paula Jones, what was it, $850,000 to keep her mouth shut while he was in the White House. He also slept with an intern in the White House in the Oval Office. No charges brought against him. The crime that he's accused of is a misdemeanor crime. And it's not a federal crime. It's a state of New York crime. A misdemeanor crime of falsifying business records. So when they paid off the porn star, they did not enter it in the financial books as payments to the porn star. They entered it as business expenses. None of that is a felony. Those are misdemeanor charges that have a 2-year statute of limitations. 2 years. So the misdemeanor is expired. Once they found out that Trump was going to run for president again, once he announced it in 2023, these charges were brought. However, they could not bring these charges because the statute of limitations had expired and it's a misdemeanor. So Alvin Bragg, the shitty district attorney who campaigned on a platform of getting Trump, devised a way to turn this expired misdemeanor into felony charges because they could not prosecute anyway because the statute of limitations had already passed. But if they somehow turn it into another crime and it's a felony, then they can prosecute. Now, the Department of Justice saw nothing wrong. They didn't pursue it. The Federal Election Commission saw nothing wrong. They did not pursue it. They said there's no case here. So they said that cooking the books, falsifying the business records, falsifying the payment to the porn star was done to cover up another crime, which is a felony. Now, they didn't say what that felony was. They split the jury into 3 separate groups of 4, and they said there's 3 separate felonies he might be hiding. It could be a tax crime. It could be election finance crimes, or whatever the third one was. I can't even remember. So they said if any of you 3 groups of 4 determine that the books were falsified to cover up another crime. You separate groups of 4. You don't have to agree on what the crime was that was being covered up. One group of 4 could say he was covering up for taxes. Another group could say he was covering up for financial crime or for election finance crimes. Then we'll call it a felony, right? You don't even have to agree on what the felony is, and we don't have to tell you what the felony is. So right there, it's a violation of his Sixth Amendment rights. You have to be told what you're being charged with. He wasn't even told what he's being charged with. What they did is they threw this blanket out there and said, well, it could be one of 3 crimes and we'll let the jury decide, and the jury doesn't even have to agree on what the crime is. As long as they agree that you cooked the books to try to cover up some other crime, that's enough to convict, and then we're going to call every single check that was written a felony count. Absolute freaking kangaroo court. This judge, this Juan Mershon, has given funds to the Stop Trump campaign. He has donated countless amounts of money to the DNC, to Joe Biden, to stop Trump. You've got a district attorney in Manhattan who campaigned on getting Trump. He was going to get Trump. You've got these BS charges that they just made up and nobody knows what it is. Even the Democrats, when you say, what was he charged with? Well, he was charged with falsifying business records. Not a felony. Not a felony. It's a misdemeanor with a 2-year statute of limitations. Well, it's a felony because he was covering up another crime. What other crime was he covering up? Well, we don't know. Well, what? I'm sorry, what? You don't know. You just know that it was to cover up another crime. Bullshit. He paid off a porn star to keep her mouth shut, which is not illegal. Okay? Everybody agrees that they falsified the business records. They entered it in the business ledger incorrectly. Again, that's a misdemeanor, and the statute of limitations have passed. But a felony, let me tell you what that is all about. It is 100% so that Joe Biden and the Democrats can call Donald Trump a convicted felon. It's so that they can just point the finger instead of having to talk about the issues. Because when it comes down to issues, they lose. And they lose every time. They cannot talk about the economy. They cannot talk about immigration. They cannot talk about foreign policy. They can talk about nothing and win on the issues. So what they've done is what they always do. They just point the finger. So watch when they get up there on the debate on June 27th or whatever it is. Biden's not going to say anything about any issues. He's just going to say convicted felon, convicted felon, convicted felon, convicted felon. And the news media is going to just drive that home. 2 words. All of this was about 2 words. So that the media and the Democrats can say convicted felon, and then they can point the finger at all of us and say, how can you vote for a convicted felon? Well, I can. Because it was a bunch of bullshit, and I'm going to vote for a convicted felon. And then they're going to tell you that you are wrong and it's reckless to question the judicial system. I'm sorry, what? Here's the funny thing. They'll say nobody is above the law. Except every president that ever lived. Every single president we've ever had could be convicted of something. All of them. All of them. All of them. But the reason we don't do that is because when you start doing that, you devolve into third world banana republic bullshit where we try to convict and jail our political opponents. And that's exactly what's happening. So they want to tell you not to question the judicial system, except when it comes to everybody else. They want to tell you nobody is above the law, except Joe Biden is above the law for having confidential documents from when he was vice president, and then the Department of Justice said, well, we can't convict him because he's an old man. Above the law. Above the law. George W. Bush is above the law for war crimes. Barack Obama is above the law for drone strikes on American citizens. Hillary Clinton is above the law for classified emails on her laptop, for Benghazi, for hanging our boys out to dry. They're all above the law. But we don't prosecute our political opponents and throw them in jail, because that's what happens in third world freaking countries. This is how desperate they are. And isn't the timing of all of this shit ironic? Right? They're going to sentence him 4 days before the Republican National Convention. The earliest debate in history, with all these stupid rules for Joe Biden. Nobody in the audience. That's because the audience will all be cheering for Trump and booing Joe Biden. Everywhere you go around the country, you see excitement for Donald Trump, but none for Joe Biden. Here's the fact. He got off easy in 2020 because he could hide in his basement and use COVID as an excuse, and now his excuse is going to be convicted felon. Right? It's beneath him to even have to debate or talk about issues because his opponent is a convicted felon. We all see right through that bullshit, every single bit of it, and they tell you not to question the Justice Department, except they question it every single time. Every single time it is a person of color or somebody else, they question it. They say that the justice system in the United States is unfair. Now all of a sudden,
don't question the justice system. It's the most fair. Our entire everything is based on this, and this is the greatest country in the world.
Oh, horse shit. Quit gaslighting us. We see right through all of your bullshit. Right? When it goes your way, everything's great. When it doesn't go your way, the system is rigged against you and the brown people and the gay people and everybody else. You're so completely full of shit, and everybody sees right through that. And that's why Trump is breaking campaign donation records left and right now. And that's why, Alvin Bragg, you freaking idiot, you just shot yourself in the foot because you just guaranteed a Trump presidency. Whether you like it or not, you overplayed your hand. You're going to make sure that Trump is going to be elected because Democrats, even Democrats, see through the bullshit that you're up to, and they're flocking to the other side and now voting for Trump. This just shows how desperate they are to retain power. Here's the part that you should be scared of. What next? Are they going to come after us for who we donate to, for our campaign contributions? If we contribute to the wrong side, are they going to come after us? Are they going to find some trumped up charges to get us on? Are they going to prosecute us for being on the wrong team? You bet your ass they are. I see through it. The American people see through it. You guys are completely full of shit. Nobody's buying it, and it's just absolutely pathetic that we've come to this. It is not good for America, and the rest of the world is looking at us and absolutely freaking laughing. As always, I appreciate you for watching. Give me a thumbs up. Drop me a comment down in the comment section. Let me know what you think of all this Trump bullshit. Do you see right through it just like I do and like everybody else does? Or are you on the freaking woke bullshit team? If you are, don't bother commenting, because I'm going to block you because I don't tolerate your bullshit. And if you're not subscribed to the channel, please consider doing so. Just click my logo right over there. That's it for this episode of Tim's School of Pipes, boys and girls. Class dismissed.